So imagine trying to flip the pages of a book every day like Johnny does with his bare claws. It's not very fun. You should be listening to your audiobook. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled and get a free 30-day trial and a free audiobook. They have over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Jumbled, your favorite podcast about nothing. I'm Zach.
I'm Johnny.
What's going on, Johnny? How you doing?
I have mixed feelings right now, Zach.
You got rid of the AirPods, dude.
I got rid of the AirPods, which would maybe hint to you that I got something today.
Oh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, is that the 10?
It is.
Dude,
it
that's
is
sick.
indeed the 10.
Oh, let me show you something. Hold on. I want to show you something, dude.
That's pretty jacked up, but I've seen worse.
Yeah,
it's still functional.
It's definitely still functional. I cracked my screen. It's okay. I got a replacement on the way.
But yeah, my mixed emotions of, well, I got a new phone.
Yeah.
And I got AirPods, all for basically free.
Yeah. For
and
free?
Then, yeah.
How do you get it for free?
I have really good benefits at work.
All right. $1,000 phone for free. That's pretty good.
Actually, everything came out to $2,000. Welcome to Canada.
Woo.
Anyways, so then I came home and was really stoked and started to set everything up. And then Murphy's Law came into play, and phone took forever, computer took forever, and then things weren't working. But now I think everything's mostly working, which is good. And then I was like, well, I'm going to look up some cases for my iPhone. And then I remembered I had an Amazon gift card.
There you go. Oh, you're going to use it on that. Good.
And then I remembered that I don't remember where I put it.
Well, okay, let's retrace your steps. So we're recording last week. Where was it last week?
I had it last week when we were recording?
No. You talking about it.
Oh, I was talking about it. So the last place I remember it was putting it in my key bowl.
Yeah.
Which is by our door. And then I remembered Allie getting keys out of there and giving me a look like, yo, why is a gift card in the key bowl? It's not a gift card bowl, idiot. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty reasonable. Now remember, she didn't say any of these things. This was all telepathically.
It was all conveyed through a series of gestures or looks. Yeah.
So then I put it somewhere, and I have no freaking clue where I put it.
I'm
bummed.
Is it right next to the bowl?
No, and I looked under the bowl, and then I looked in both my junk drawers, and I cleaned off my desk, and you know what I think I did was I had a bunch of garbage on my desk at one point.
Oh, no, dude.
And I think I might have scooped it up. So I've been kind of going through some Christmas boxes, and, you know, I'm confident that it will show up when I stop stressing about it, but as you know, I'm very obsessive, and I will continue to obsess about it.
Sure.
Until I've burnt my house to the ground and found it.
It's going to be the one thing that survives.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if 9/11 taught me anything, planes can crash into buildings and take them down, but passports will survive.
Never forget, dude.
Pound, it was an inside job. Anyways, we don't need to get into crazy conspiracy theories.
It's all right.
But yeah, so, you know, I'm feeling pretty good. This is the first time I've ever had the top phone, the big dog, if you will. I'm always like one or two generations behind.
Yeah. Did you get the 256 gig config?
So I really thought about it, and I could have gotten it because I had enough of my wellness dollars from work.
Wellness. It's mental wellness. Yeah, I need a new phone.
So I had enough to do it, but then I had some other things that I wanted to get with those extra dollars. And then I did the math and was like, well, I'm probably going to have this phone for 2 years.
Sure.
And to get the 256 gig, it was an extra $300.
Mm-hmm.
So $150 a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really use a lot of space now because I don't store music on my phone because I use Spotify.
But It records 4K.
It does. So I talked to the Apple guy, and he confirmed what I thought, and I just increased my iCloud storage.
Okay.
And then there's a new mode that is like optimized storage or whatever. So when you take pictures or videos, it uploads them up to your cloud, and then just stores like a smaller, less storage needed version of them on your phone.
That's smart.
So I can go to I can have an extra 200 gigs of iCloud for $4 a month. So $50 a year, so $100. So in the long run, it saves me $150, and I basically have the same amount of storage on my phone.
That's fair.
And it's in the cloud, which I don't know how I feel about it. But the Apple guy basically sold me up and was like, "Well, do you trust your online banking through your phone?" And I responded, "Well, yeah, they're a bank. They're a big company. I trust them." And then he was like, "Well, we're close to being $1 trillion company and are arguably one of the biggest companies in the world, and we invented the cloud. So why wouldn't you trust us?" And I was like, "You know what, Apple man, whose also name was John, but he was about 65. I looked at him and was like, you're right. I should probably quit being an old fart about this."
Yeah, and you also just bought a phone that unlocks itself by looking at your face.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
You don't know how you feel about the phone knowing what your face looks like?
I don't care about that. I mean, the functionality of it, I kind of miss a home button. And I mean, this is a really interesting jumbled review on the iPhone X that I've owned for approximately 2 hours, and about an hour and 45 minutes of that has been updating.
Well, this is the initial thoughts, and then next week we'll get one week with the iPhone X.
All right. So I have big hands, but I have small fingers, and I was.
You're like a bear.
I am very much like a bear in many ways. Take that as you will. Anyways, so I was a little bit concerned about the 10 because it's really big.
Yeah.
And there's some swipe gestures that help and whatnot. But I miss having the home button. And one of the things that I realized with the fingerprint was a lot of the times I leave my phone flat on my desk. And someone texts me, and I leave it flat, and I push my home button with my finger, and it reads my finger, it opens up, and I can read and text like it's a number pad on my keyboard, right?
Right.
Well, I can't do that with this phone now because you have to push the button on the side, and then it wants to read your face, and then it can't read your face, and you have to like put in your password, which mine is really complex. It's 1111111111111.
All right, everybody be on the lookout for the big Canadian bear. And then just go and hold him down and take his iPhone, and now you know how to get into there.
Oh, man. So, I mean, it's an extra step, which, I'm sure I'll get used to. And everyone said you get used to it. There are some really cool technologies with swiping and where things are and whatnot, and obviously the earpods are pretty cool. I put them in my head and shook my head wildly, and they stayed in. They're pretty comfortable. So yeah. Though my other complaint right now is I thought I was being really smart, and I backed up all of my previous phone. Sure,
yeah, as you should have.
Yeah, and then I loaded it up from the cloud that I set up.
Right.
And now it didn't save any of my flippin' passwords.
What browser were you using? Safari?
No, I meant for like my email.
Oh, it didn't save your email passwords?
Yeah, and some of them, I'm not going to lie, I don't know if I remember. And this is saying my password's incorrect. Don't lie to me, phone.
Well, looks like you're going to have to do password recovery.
For 10 emails, Zach.
Why do you have 10 emails?
Okay, it's not actually 10. It's 4.
Okay. I mean, that's understandable. I have my built-in Apple, the at me, whatever. Then I have Yahoo and Gmail, and then I have my work email through the Outlook app. So I can understand having 4 email addresses, but
yeah, I have 4.
Yeah, I don't use a couple of my email addresses, but
well, now it won't even let me put in passwords.
Hmm.
I hate this phone.
Hey, you know what? Call it quits. Do you still have your old one?
I sure do, but Al wants it.
Okay.
Because she smashed her phone up pretty good. So.
You can just go ahead and renege on that deal, and then I'll shoot you my. Actually, you already have my address.
I do.
So just slide that on over to me. I'll use your wellness money to make my life more well.
Do you remember how do you put the percentage back in your battery? Where is that notification?
It's in settings, general, or settings, battery. I think it's right there on the front. Anyway, this is a great podcast.
I know. Hey. I'm sorry, everyone. So, anyways, get your iPhone 10. Support Apple. They're a great company.
Hey, Zach, how do you change your battery percentage indicator? Let's put it on the podcast.
Man, I told you I have an obsessive brain, okay? I'm freaking out here.
Everybody's like, all right, when does the podcast actually start? Because
right.
Surely this isn't it.
Record.
And go. Something, since we're a little bit over 10 minutes in, I feel like we should probably drop this. We just created a Patreon page. So if you guys want to support us, any amount at all is appreciated. If you like us $1 worth, cool. $1 would work. Whatever. Head over to patreon.com/jumbled. We don't have any perks or anything there yet, but if you guys have any suggestions as to what you might want, Johnny will send you a dick pic or whatever it takes.
I mean, I do have that really, really nice portrait camera now.
You can put the black theater background behind it. Oh, dude, it's gonna be beautiful.
I can take the most artsy dick pics now.
And Johnny's really good with his angles too. I can vouch.
But yeah, Patreon, it's pretty cool. I know I support a few different things, a couple podcasts through Patreon. I mean, obviously the key to it is setting up perks, and that's something that Zach and I are going to be brainstorming on. But we'll figure some stuff out. But if you have any ideas, feel free to let us know in some way, shape, or form. Zach said numerous times that he has very little to no shame. And apparently he's signed me up for dick pics. That will have to be a pretty high investment, just so you guys know.
Yeah, that's going to be at least $5 a month.
A month? I was thinking like one-time payment, but that's good.
$5 one-time payment. All right, man.
I mean, Zach is the former cam girl, so I mean that's
true.
Probably more your realm.
Well, you say former, but that's in large quotes.
Former.
But one of the things happening right now.
One of the things I was just thinking about would be cool if we got some of our listeners as a guest on the show, or we did.
Oh, that could be cool. Yeah.
A brief. I don't know if we could do it live, but we could probably do a bit of a recording with them.
Sure.
Playing video games. Zach and I both play video games, though less frequently than we used to.
Yes.
But if you'd like that one-on-one video game experience with Zach or I, that could be a fun little thing.
And we're gonna have to make sure that we choose the right game, because I've gotten so bad at Halo now that it almost wouldn't be a good perk for anybody.
Well, then they could
much
pay
less
you
myself.
more to watch you break the game. A YouTube channel. We hit this right level for Patreon. Zach will eat his Halo disc.
Piece by piece. I'm gonna cut my insides up, dude.
Put it in a blender, buddy.
All right, pulp it up. We'll see how it
goes.
Put it in the protein shake.
Put it in some yogurt. It'll slide right in and right out.
Nom nom nom, dude. Yeah. So if, like I said, head over if you guys want to And it's a monthly thing. So if know what you're signing up for ahead of time, either that or you can do a one-time, or you can do a payment and then just forget about us, cancel your subscription after that. Whatever you want to do. It's all love. So we appreciate you guys.
And for those of you who want to make a donation but are maybe waiting to see what the perks are, if you give before the perks are up, we will honor the perks that get established based on your giving. So you won't miss out for being first. In fact, maybe
you'll get an extra dick pic. We'll throw in an extra dick pic.
It will be me and Zach docking.
Perfect, dude. That one's at least $10.
Yep. That's
because you got to double your pleasure. You know,
that's a double donger. I just realized that my parents started listening to this podcast, and they're going to be disappointed in me.
I see the likes. I see their likes.
Yeah.
And then sharing the page and stuff like that. Hey, I appreciate it. I don't know that my parents actually know about the podcast. Like, I'm sure they've seen the podcast, and I think I actually invited them to like the podcast page, but don't think they've listened at all.
Yeah. Well, my little sister was in town. She was going to grad school in BC, and she was in the car with my parents going to Edmonton, and she sent me a picture of my stepdad's car's video dash thing or whatever, what they're listening to, and it was Jumbled podcast.
That's awesome.
And it was the Milky Tears episode.
Just wait until you get to that part.
I didn't know if I was excited or happy or a little bit concerned, and I asked her how it was going, and she said that there were a few parts where she almost spit out her drink laughing. So I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
And my mom didn't call me right after to complain. P.S. Shout out, hi mom, love you. Just remember, you created this.
Yeah, and remember, Johnny expects you to get high with him at some point.
She did text me about that and said she would consider it.
Oh, dude, there's an update, guys.
Because that was my birthday wish, right? Was that what I said? That was my birthday wish. Yeah,
that was your birthday wish.
She texted me very vaguely. It just said, "Listen to your podcast, liked it," and then a couple minutes later, "I'll consider your birthday wish."
That's awesome. Well, if that ends up happening,
when it's legal, of course. When it's legal,
when it's legal. I'm not saying your mom's a crime boss or something like that, but
I mean, if she's smart enough to be, maybe she is. Maybe that explains things.
Maybe, yeah.
Mom, are you a crime boss?
Maybe she's dipping into her own supply.
Because if she's a crime boss, I want to know why I don't have more money. Be more crime bossy.
Yeah, man. You gotta step that up.
But yeah, I got that text and I was very excited. And, by my next birthday, if everything goes as planned, it will be legalized across Canada, and then I can hound her obsessively for it.
Yeah. Be on the lookout for that Instagram post. That's going to be a good one.
If it happens, I'm going to buy a 10-foot bong and just... Mom,
dude.
You're taking a rip on this. I don't even know how to use it, but we'll figure it out together.
You got to be on a ladder. You got to be on an extension ladder to take a hit from it.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be nuts, dude. So I saw Joe today.
Yeah, it was his birthday. He's 31. That old bastard.
No, not today. It was yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
But yeah, he looks a lot like, just to give everybody an update, Joe
he's a complete hippie. He quit the podcast, grew his hair out.
Dude, he's been growing his hair out since before. I talked a lot about, if you go back and listen, about Joe's man bun, and I hated it. Mm-hmm. And it made me furious every time he'd open the door and have a man bun. He legitimately looks like Eric Matthews, like early Boy Meets World Eric Matthews.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see that.
So,
he's rocking the vintage '90s American haircut right now,
dude. He looks like Kurt Cobain and Eric Matthews got together with like Gumby, and that's what came out.
Gumby. I love that we always say we're not going to talk about Joe, but every episode he comes up. It's just because we love you so much, Joe.
Yeah, we love you, and it's easy to talk about you when you're not here to defend yourself.
That's true. You Gumby-looking motherfucker.
We kid, but do we?
I don't know.
Is it kidding? Speaking of Joe, he sent a message in Slack earlier, and it's about apparently chocolate is set to disappear in 40 years.
What? What does that mean?
Apparently, according to USA Today, Business Insider reported there's a chocolate shortage, and experts say it's on track to vanish by 2050. It's a video, so I can't really play it and have it make any kind of sense. I can give you sort of an overview of what I heard. It's something with a cacao plant. So they're trying to genetically go like play God and get around it. I hope they figure it out because I love some chocolate.
I mean, likely I'll be dead in 40 years.
Johnny's like, I'm lucky if I get another 20 with this big bear body I got going here.
I'm going to start stocking up on chocolate though, let me tell you.
Yeah, man. I'm going to have oh gosh.
Chocolate is the new gold.
I'm going to be the Missourian Willy Wonka. All right?
I like it.
Yeah.
So I don't know why that cued that. It's not really related, but kind of. I listened to a really cool Radio Lab podcast the other day when I was driving, and it was talking about a nuclear missile silo in Arkansas, maybe?
That's how they say it in Arkansas. They say nuclear because there's apparently another U in there, right?
I knew as soon as I said that, I knew you were going to say something because Joe and you always gave me shit. Nuclear,
thank you.
Nuclear.
That makes me feel better.
Like new clear wipes. Clear. New.
There you go. Yeah.
Anyways, and it was about how it was at the time rockets were using liquid fuel.
Okay.
And you basically they're taking two types of fuel, put them together, and they exploded, shoot the rocket.
Sure.
But they had people in the Air Force that were technicians that were working on, maintaining the rockets and the silos and all that jazz and whatnot. Anyways, long story short, guy drops a 10-pound socket and it falls like 100 feet, smashes into the side of the rocket, and starts leaking this really toxic jet fuel.
Oh, yay. And
doesn't want to admit what happened, so they run into the control room and was like, I don't know what's going on. And the people inside the control room couldn't figure it out. End of story. That fuel tank explodes.
Oh, no.
And this was in the 80s. I think they said 1980 or whatever. So, and it was the biggest nuclear warhead in the world at the time. It was called Titan 1. Anyway, so basically it was a shit show. They try and evacuate everyone, and then they're like, well, we need to know what's going on. And it's probably safe inside the blast chamber that was supposed to withstand a nuclear attack from the Russians. So they start trying to send people back in. So the people got out through like an emergency hatch. Okay. And the American government said, no, don't use that emergency hatch. Go through the front door that's shut down and locked. So here are some rudimentary tools that you need to use to break through basically Fort Knox. And it took them too long to get in there. And by the time they got close enough, the tank exploded and killed some people. These big blast doors that are basically, I can't remember how big they said, tons and tons of concrete and metal. Right. Launched them. There was concrete raining from the sky the size of cars and buses.
Oh my god.
Like landing on people, landing around people, shrapnel everywhere. The kicker, they found that the nuclear warhead 500 or half a mile away from the silo site.
Oh my god.
It didn't detonate. And the Air Force came out and, did a press release, and they blamed it on human error. And there was a lot of issues that happened, whatever.
Right.
But basically, we're like, yeah, there was no way that warhead would have detonated. There's too many safety measures, blah blah blah, and it was completely safe. But the people who like worked on the warhead and designed it and built it or whatever, all said that it definitely could have exploded. And if it had exploded, it would have had a 400-mile blast radius, which would have gotten into Missouri. And that's when you were talking about Missouri. That's where that story came in. So, yeah, think about that. All of the nukes that U.S. has, and they can't maintain them. And it was some 19-year-old kid working on this thing.
I think the thing to take from that story is, hey, if you're an asshole and you drop something on a nuclear or a rocket that's holding a nuclear warhead, maybe say something.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, because you got to think, like, if they're like, oh, well, I dropped something on a rocket. Oh, well, maybe we can, fix this, before you kill, or this thing kills several people. Much lamer story. Back, I don't know when this was. I think the 70s, maybe. There was a beached whale that washed up on shore. And
that one that exploded.
Yeah, and there's a
that was something else that thing popped.
Yeah, the thing about beached whales is, like, if you don't get to them early enough and puncture them, they can get explosive by themselves, just because they're huge. So nobody knew how to handle this beached whale that was on the verge of exploding anyway. So they surrounded the thing with dynamite. But they had no clue how much dynamite it was going to take. So they went a little overkill with it, and they exploded it. And it's one of the most awesome videos I've ever seen in my life. Like, the whale's just, like, part of it's still there. Like, part of it is still on the beach. So they weren't completely successful. But, like, the initial reaction was like, boom, and then everybody's like, whoa, like they're watching a fireworks show or something like that. People are like a half mile away down the beach, and then all of a sudden it's just like plop, 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 thud, 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 and then everybody's just pandemonium, and they're just running everywhere. And then, like, they show a picture of a car that was pretty much totaled from just a massive piece of whale that had come down on top of it. And I think that's another lesson we've learned. Maybe just maybe just shoot the thing.
just pop.
Yeah, just maybe poke a hole in it and then just let nature do its job.
Did you see the one where it was similar situation, giant whale, and a guy walks up with, I don't know, it looked similar to a scythe or something, and he goes to puncture it, and he punctures it, and the whale's belly just explodes.
Yes, I think I've seen that. It looked like it was in some Asian country.
Yeah, I have no idea, but that one was also pretty messed up and kind of scary.
Yeah, I was reading. I don't know why I got into a kick on, like, exploding whales. This has been like three or 4 weeks ago.
3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, and so I'm just remembering this now. And I went just on a sort of spree to find out what was happening, or what this is all about. And there was a guy that found a beached whale, and he climbed on top of it. And then he fell into the beached whale, but inside of it was just like a soupy mess. And there's no good way to get out of a whale, So he died inside of a whale. He died inside of a dead whale because he drowned on whatever that was.
Oh,
how about that for a good way to go out, huh?
That's really brutal.
That's how I want to go out.
Inside a whale?
Yep. Put me through the blowhole.
Put you through the blowhole. All right. I'll keep that in mind when it's time to put you to sleep.
Yeah, man. Either that or bring back a saber-toothed tiger, and I'll be the first one.
Yeah. Oh, man. How cool would that be?
That'd be awesome.
Wait, turn you into a saber-toothed tiger?
No, bring it back. DNA, genetics. Bring that thing back. I'll be the volunteer. Or however the thing goes. For
Interesting.
I'm just saying, if you pull one out of the La Brea tar pit and you can get some DNA, and then we can advance about 25 years where we can just start creating things. We've already created small things from genetic material. And then we can just recreate a saber-toothed tiger. And there you go.
Yeah.
I want to be around when the dodo comes back. That's all I'm saying. I want to see how stupid that thing looks.
The dodo?
Yeah, dude. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let me put some Audible in it. Again, this podcast is brought to you by Audible. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled. Get your free 30-day trial and a free audiobook. Guys, we made it. Today, we're going to be talking about All These Worlds, Book 3 of the Bobiverse. We've come a long way, guys. Bob has been floating through space for about a century now. And they've found enough planets to be able to populate the human species enough where it shouldn't go extinct, but that's not stopping the bad people. That doesn't stop the bad people. Bad people are looking for ways to be bad anyway. Doesn't matter. You can't stop them. But he's going to try. Him and, I don't know, a bunch of other Bobs. You know, he's artificial intelligence. So Bobs come in packs now. All right. So, again, this is narrated by Ray Porter. It's by Dennis Taylor. It's the third book of the Bobiverse series and the final. Oh, guys. Oh, it's so sad. It's 7 hours and 55 minutes long. So now you can, I mean, if you want to talk to your coworker for 5 minutes, you know, take your hour lunch. And then, you know, the rest of the time, just listen to the Bobiverse, All These Worlds. It's perfect, you know. It's perfect, guys. There's not a better option for you. So again, head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled. Get your free 30-day trial and a free audiobook. Hey, thanks, guys, and enjoy. So, Johnny, it is currently the 2nd of January. What did you do for New Year's?
So New Year's, I was at a wedding.
Yeah.
For a good buddy of mine. It was really fun. It was a 1920s themed wedding.
Very nice. So you were dressed as a prohibitionist?
I mean, I kind of took an easy way out. And I mean, I bought suspenders, but I wore a vest, which I don't regularly wear. And then I kind of wore similar style slacks and a white shirt. I was like, you know, pretty easy. But it passed. It was passable.
Yeah. All right.
But Allie, you know, definitely made up for my slacking.
Isn't that how it always goes? That's how it always goes. At least for me, like anytime there's like any kind of dress up things, like I'm doing the bare minimum and my wife is like balling out of control. Yeah.
So Al looked fantastic as usual and really kind of carried the 1920s theme for us. Which was pretty fun, but it was good. It was a good wedding. Good to hang out with those friends, and then the New Year's Day, whatever, we hung out for a little bit.
Yeah.
Played some Nintendo Switch, which I think Al really, really wants now. And then we drove back to Calgary and ordered some Chinese food, hung out.
Chinese New Year,
watched some TV, and then we went to bed, and then work today was really tough because I had 10 days off.
Wow.
And
yeah, that's got to be hard, man.
Going back to work, it was tough, but it was good, you know, to get there. But then I remembered that I had a refresh in all my wellness dollars, and then, you know, I started obsessing about my phone. So
then the iPhone happened. Yeah. Yeah, I was here at home, and I watched Steve Harvey dress up like a marshmallow and bring in the New Year. I don't know if you've seen pictures of Steve Harvey. He was in all white with like a black scarf or something like that, and then just his head. So he looked like a fancy version of the Stay Puft Marshmallow guy from Ghostbusters. Sort of looked like a fancy version of that dude. But I watched that, and then right before New Year's hit, I tried to rouse my kids up because they were sleeping. I was like, hey, you guys want to ring in the new year? And then my oldest was like, nah, I'm good. And then I went and I woke my 3-year-old up. I was like, hey, you want to ring in the new year? My wife was working, so I couldn't ring it in with her, unfortunately. But I got my 3-year-old up and took her out to the couch, and she sat on my knee and tried to count backwards from 10, and then we gave her a little a New Year's smooch, and then she just jumped off my knee and without saying really anything at all, walked away and went back to her room.
I'm out.
And that was my New Year's, man. And then the next morning I woke up and there was an equipment failure for the energy company. So for the electric company, so I didn't have any electricity when I woke up, and so the house was I think it was a balmy 63, 62.
Woo.
Yeah, so it was a little bit chilly, and this week has been like ridiculous for temperatures in Kansas City. Like, I can't remember it getting this cold in previous years, and maybe it's just because I'm removed enough where I don't remember. But it was on the night where the power went out. It got down to like negative teens, I think, Fahrenheit. And so
I mean, I don't
it was
really
negative
feel bad
9.
for you.
Yeah, you don't have to. I mean, you're in Canada, so I feel bad for you.
It was
not about being in Canada, but just for the weather itself.
It was basically last week hovering around minus 40 Fahrenheit here for a week.
Ooh. Hey, man.
It was brisk, let me tell you.
That's a brisk day. Did you wear shorts?
No, I wore pants. But I have not put the liner in my winter jacket yet.
Oh, okay.
So it's a very good fall, early winter jacket. It's definitely lacking in the heart of winter, which we're basically in right now. But I'm being stubborn, and it's really poofy, and it makes me feel fat. So no,
you're protesting.
Yeah, but I'm paying for it. So there's that. I think I'm going to freeze to death basically every day. But I persevere.
Yeah, well, after 10 days off, you'd probably just, you at least slept in. If you had to venture out at all, it's probably few and far between. If you're anything like me, I enjoy a good staycation. So
I really want to do a staycation with Al, and we keep talking about it. But every time we try and do it, we just do so many things.
Let's do a staycation. Oh, and also these 42 other things.
That's honestly what we had 10 days off. The only night that we weren't doing something with family or friends or traveling was last night when we got home at 4 p.m. and we had Chinese food.
Yeah, dude.
So,
well, sorry, dude.
I mean, it's all good.
Do you do the whole New Year's resolution thing?
Not really, honestly.
Yeah.
I think they're kind of dumb in many ways.
Yeah.
I find it interesting when people want to use them as a starting point for something that they should be doing for a lot longer.
Sure.
But I mean, who am I to judge?
Yeah.
I have been making a conscious effort to drink more water.
Okay.
So you could say that's my New Year's resolution, I guess.
Yeah, but you didn't really set it as a resolution. It's just something you recognize in your life that needs to be different.
Yeah.
Right?
And so I've started that and going pretty hard with it.
Nice.
Man, does I pee so much now.
Like a racehorse.
It's uncontrollable.
A quart at a time.
I'm trying to drink. I don't know. It's maybe, how big is like a Coke bottle that you'd get? Not a 2 liter, not the big one, not a 1 liter.
Like I think they're 12-ounce cans.
Yeah. So I'm trying to, not a can, the plastic bottle.
Oh, 20-ounce.
Yeah, I'm trying to drink. I think it's probably close to 20 ounces of water. I'm trying to drink one of those every hour.
That's not bad.
I'd like to do a gallon a day kind of thing. That would be my ideal situation. I am peeing every 45 minutes.
That's good, man. And it's probably crystal clear.
It's probably drinkable.
You could run that through just like a Brita filter, and then you sort of recycle it. Reduce, reuse, recycle, dude. Run it through some charcoal. You're good.
Good to go. So, I'm pretty sure people are starting to wonder if I have a cocaine addiction or something for how often I'm running to the bathroom.
Yeah.
But
and you come back with flour on your face for some weird reason. Who knows? I was just thinking, and this is sort of on topic a little bit, talking about cocaine addiction. It's my ex-girlfriend, who I will not name. In high school, we were not dating at the time, but we were sort of hanging out, and I recall her at lunchtime. She would just sort of take dares. Have you ever met a person that just sort of like, oh, dare me to do it, and I'll do it,
It's like an excuse to do things that you really want to do, but you don't want to admit that you want to do it.
Yeah. But that's the thing, is I don't know that she knew that she wanted to do any of this stuff. She just did it.
Didn't give a shit, eh?
Yeah. Anyway, she would sort of just take suggestions of things that she could crush up into a very fine powder on her lunch tray, and then snort it. And she would usually get a nosebleed or something like that. It happened often. But like I remember one time she crushed up some Teddy Grahams.
Ugh.
But it was like really fine. And then just up the nose.
Where does it go?
What are you talking about? Do you not know what your nose is?
I know what your nose is, you dingleberry.
Where does it go?
No, but think about it. Where did the Teddy Grahams end up? They're not just sitting in her nasal cavity. They go to her stomach, I guess. They go down her throat. Did it come out her mouth? Did it come out the other nostril? There's a lot of different routes that it can go.
Probably part of it landed in her lungs, since you're breathing in.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I would assume. And then probably a lot lined her esophagus and nasal cavity, since it's moist in those areas. That's what I assume. Most of it probably just stayed in her nose, and then she had to rinse it out.
So I had a buddy who similarly would do that, but we managed to convince him to snort wasabi once.
Oh no!
Yeah,
you assholes, dude.
He didn't know what it was, and we tried to convince him that it wasn't spicy.
No. Yeah, dude, it's like have you ever had an avocado?
I think
an avocado.
I think we told him it was minty. Be like, yeah, just be like if you sniffed a Vicks vapor stick or something.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he was not in good shape. We also got him to snort chili peppers from like Boston, or from a pizza place,
Oh my god.
Chili flakes or whatever.
Yeah, the crushed red pepper, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, we're horrible human beings. I don't know.
Well, when you're young, you just sort of, I think you do a lot of stuff just to get people's attention.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I don't.
It worked. He got the whole restaurant's attention.
When he was just screaming and crying and
basically running to the bathroom, trying to rinse out his nostril.
God. And that's got to be awful, because it's like your nose is so sensitive,
Mm-hmm.
It's like, think about like all the skin that's in there that never gets touched by anything,
I mean, I touch my nose skin all the time.
Yeah, you dig for gold.
There's some gold nuggets in there.
Yeah, man. There's gold in them there hills. That's what they say.
That's what they say?
That's what they say.
Noted.
That's what I've been told. Let's see here. Oh, something that happened, I think, today? Earlier today? Yesterday? Maybe late yesterday? Have you ever heard of this guy named Logan Paul?
No.
Okay. You're not really missing out on anything. He's a douchebag. He was a Viner initially, and then he transitioned over to YouTube. But he's got like millions and millions and millions of people.
Oh, is this the guy who made a video in Japan at the suicide forest and was giggling about seeing a body and stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
I saw a headline for that, and I read very briefly him basically apologizing and telling his fans to stop defending him, that it doesn't deserve defending, and
right.
But I mean, pretty insensitive, I guess.
Yeah, my thought process on it is like, it takes a lot of planning to make a YouTube video, especially if you're like planning on just going out and doing something. You know, you already have an idea of how you're wanting this thing to go. So you are in Japan, you find out about this place called the Suicide Forest. Called that for a reason. I'm thinking you probably looked it up. You understand that there's a high rate of suicides that happen in this forest. There are signs on like the outside of the forest, like before you enter. It's like, think about your family and friends. Here's a number you can call. Don't do it. It's not worth it. All that kind of stuff. So it's like he had to not only understand what he was getting himself into, but also pass those reminders of what's ahead. And if there's a sign there, if it happens enough where there's a sign, then you're likely going to run into something. So, and he's saying he wasn't, like in the video said, he wasn't intending for it to be, or he was intending it for it to be a funny thing. He was intending for there to be like some sort of haunted factor for the Suicide Forest. But it's like, that's not what anybody says it's about. Like it's about a place where, I mean, I saw a documentary once about this specific forest where there were camera crews following like police and people that have to go in and recover these bodies and take them out and identify and contact family and whatnot. And it's a very somber place, but there's an understanding that it's called the Suicide Forest for a reason. So if he was going to the Suicide Forest, he probably knew he was going to run into a body at some point. Or there was a chance of running into a body. So it's sort of reprehensible for him to say that, you know, he didn't intend for it to get to that point. And then plus he had to go back to wherever he ended up after the Suicide Forest, and he had to edit all that footage. And then he had all these red flags and moments where he could have said, hey, maybe this isn't a great fucking idea. But he just decided to just go with it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who he is or his personality or any of his videos. I've never heard of him, but I'm obviously not up to date with that stuff. But I got the sense that he was going in there with that intention to make a funny video and be, I don't know if provocative is the right to be. I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was not going in there to be respectful. I think he was hoping to find what he found, and was trying to make a viral video, and it really backfired. And he's apologetic, and from what I read of his apology, I think it was worded really well. But I think you have to be. There's got to be something wrong with you if you walk in and you into that area, which you know it's going to happen, and then you see someone there, and that your thoughts were to continue filming and make a video and laughing about it versus doing something. I don't know. I mean,
there are tons of bad people in this world, you know. So like, to have the cameras rolling is one thing. To after getting done recording, go back, edit all the footage, review
and then put
all the edited footage, and then put it up.
That's
a
the
completely
other thing
different thing.
It wasn't Facebook Live, right?
No.
You had time to go through, edit it. You probably looked at that scene numerous times, and then clicked submit and watched it upload. Like, I don't know, man. I don't think it got the effect that he wanted, and now he's trying to backpedal a little bit, and I think it's disturbing on many levels, especially when you think about going through that much effort in post, right? Like, it's not.
Yeah,
Facebook Live, you could say, "Oh, I was nervous. I was scared. I didn't know what to do." You know, I'm really sorry. Whatever.
Yeah.
I would still probably judge you on that, but to definitely go through the time and post and to create a video, it is
I don't know. It's just completely disrespectful to people who have gone through those things, who have suffered from others leaving them in that fashion. You know, and you got to think suicide rates are up, you know, so it's like there's likely some viewers of his that
are dealing with that,
are dealing with it or have dealt with it, and just, I don't know, it's really insensitive and just not well thought through. And I mean, he says in the video, it's like suicide isn't a joke, and it's not. But like, you know,
You tried to make it one.
Maybe instead of keeping that footage in the YouTube video, you cut and you say, "And I actually ran into a body like outside of the forest." Then recap what happened, and then make it about awareness itself, not about showing provocative material in order to get clicks. Because that, number one, it didn't work like that for him. But number two, it's just what a decent person would do, and there's got to be some sort of disconnect mentally that allowed him to get to the point where he thought it was acceptable to be able to upload that stuff.
So I think we've talked about it before, and I'm really intrigued by it. Talking, comparing our phones to heroin and the chemical releases you get from social media and getting likes and comments and everything, and that it's becoming an actual addiction. There's actually talks about adding social media and video games in the DSM, I mean, the addiction level and whatnot. And I feel that that's a direction, our generation and younger is going, where there's this obsession with having everything on social media and being the coolest on social media, and what can I do to top my friends so I get more likes or more comments, and and that people are just losing the emotional intelligence, I guess, of the world around them, and that it's become so self-serving of, well, how can I capitalize on this individual's suicide? Basically, is what was going on in his head, and that's what he went into that forest hoping for, was how can I capitalize on someone's decision to take their life to better my channel, my business, to make more money or whatever. I don't know. I think that's really fucked up.
And here's the thing: if he would have created a well put together, poignant, well thought out message video about suicide,
and that's a different tone.
But he could have also made money off of that. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. And I think that would have been more. I would have understood that more if it was more of an awareness thing. Was the person, was the body blurred out? Do you know?
The face area was, So they blurred the face area, but the individual was hanging from a tree.
Oh, that's fucked. I don't know, man. That's people.
Well, I don't know. He saw it from a distance. Like, he saw the body from a distance, and instead of just at that point being like, Jesus, there's a dead body over there. Maybe let's get some authority. Let's alert somebody.
This is real. This isn't just an urban legend myth they made a movie about.
He walked closer. He videotaped the gentleman's purpley blue hands that were just hanging. That's how close he was, and it just
that's really sad.
It's sad, it's very sad. Just in general, the situation, but it's sad that he was so misled, but by himself. But I don't know, man. That's about all I wanted to say about that. But I just thought that's recent news, so I thought I'd bring that up.
Yeah, I did see that today. So just to change tones a little bit.
Sure.
So iPhone 10 review, now at 1 hour, basically. My next real disappointment, you cannot see the battery percentage unless you're in the control panel.
Oh, because of the notch?
No, you can see the battery.
No, I know, but there's not enough room to put the percentage in there because of the notch. Is that what you're saying?
Okay, well, come on, you can figure that out. I do get annoyed by the notch. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, come on, you can't find a way to just change my battery to a percentage then?
Something I think they should have done is, instead of having the notch, use that whole area all the way across as your to put all the icons there, and even make it a little bit wider. You know what I'm saying? Since you're losing all that real estate in the middle. I don't know, man.
there's a lot of wasted real estate just to have the. I would have been fine if the screen went all the way up to the speaker part and the camera piece.
Right.
And if there was just this random black line and a black dot in the middle, the top middle of my screen, I would have been fine with that. But there's so much wasted space in there.
I feel like that's going to be something that gets changed.
Oh yeah, definitely.
With the next iteration.
I have to get another one.
Oh man, good thing those wellness dollars are gonna
every year, baby. Every year. I get funny. A ridiculous amount of that money to put into either my wellness spending account, which I can use for sports equipment, personal development, travel, personal computing, etc. Wellness. I can put it into my health spending account, sure, which can help pay for added health expenses if I need dentist or new glasses or physio that's not covered or whatever.
Yeah.
I can put it into RSPs. I can put it into a TFSA.
You're using a lot of acronyms right now. It seems super official, and I have no idea what half of them mean. I know what an HSA is, but...
Wait, what's an HSA?
Health savings account.
Oh, okay. So an RSP is a registered retirement savings plan.
Okay.
And like kind of, I guess, I don't want to
say... Like a 401k?
But not through your company. It's through a bank. So it's protected.
Okay. Gotcha.
Some companies will match your RSPs, but they actually give you the money into your RSPs. It's not held in their account, which is nice.
Well, that's nice.
A TFSA is a tax-free savings account. So it's just a higher valued savings account. But it's basically free money. You take it in, you put in your TFSA, you can take it out. Or with the RSPs, basically you put it in, and then when you retire, you get that money.
That's nice.
So, yeah, it's pretty cool. I prefer to do the less fiscally responsible thing and I put some into my health spending so that I can spend it on other health things. And then I put a lot of it into my wellness spending. So I'm like, Al, what do we need? I need a new phone. Buy a new phone. Last October, we built Ali a new computer. I'm probably going to buy a bow.
Yeah?
Because archery is counted under wellness. It drives me nuts because it used to include like gun ranges.
Right.
And now it doesn't anymore. And I got into an argument with the benefits lady saying it's basically the same sport, different tool. Sure. But they took a hard stance against the old gun,
Yeah. It is what it is.
So now I have to buy a bunch of stupid iPhones.
You should buy a bunch of those what is it, 1.5 inch steel ball bearings, and then make a bunch of monkey fists like I did.
Pickled monkey fist.
Dude, that thing is legit. Remember we took that camping?
It came in handy for sure. Getting rope up in trees, so we were bear aware.
Yeah, I almost hit you a couple times with it because I thought you were a bear. You're short fingered. It's a dead giveaway.
They're not short. They're just not as big compared to the rest of my hands.
Whoa, you have the right to bear arms. Holy cow. Your shirt says "Go big or go home."
It's a Hawkeyes, or as Allie says, the Hot Guys.
The Hot Guys.
She thought I was calling the Hawkeyes Hot Guys for the longest time.
Oh, Hot Guys, yeah. Well, that's what I call them.
But yeah, she
is she off camera and sort of upset at you right now?
No, she hasn't given me any facts either.
She's not fact checking. She stopped.
Well,
listening.
She's been really busy. I don't think she listened over the holidays, so maybe
that's all right.
I'll keep trash talking her, and then it'll come back to bite me in the butt.
It's okay. Maybe your mom or dad could fact check us. Fact checking by Johnny's parents.
My mom is a very literal person, so that could be really interesting to see what she comes up with. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Mom, you want to be a fact checker? She'll record and then she'll just tell embarrassing stories about me. I don't like this at all. This is a horrible idea.
I love this idea.
I don't.
It can be quote unquote fact checking with Shauna. I love it, dude. I love it so much.
It's a horrible idea.
I'm looking forward to next week already.
I'm pretty well. I'm hoping that she's forgotten how to use podcasts.
She just forgot.
I mean, I had to show her like 6 times for a different podcast that I was trying to get her to listen to.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm feeling fairly safe right now.
I think there's a certain age where, you know, you just stop caring. Like, I stopped caring about new music. I'm already there. I don't care about new music anymore.
I don't either.
I'll hear a new song every now and then. I'll be like, oh, that's an okay song, I guess. And then the mumble rap stuff comes along, and then I go back into hiding and listen to Journey and and all the good stuff.
I mean, I've had this realization for a while, and I think it really hit me a few years ago, where I realized that I was turning into my dad because I'm listening to the same music that I listened to more or less in high school, like around that age.
Sure.
And I remember being in my dad's car, and he was listening to classic rock at the time, which I do really appreciate now. So I'm thankful for that. But just being so confused, it's like, Dad, why are you listening to this old music? There's so much better music. And he just, you know, looked at me and said, son, someday you'll understand. And I think I said something today. Smart ass, like I'll never be old like you, Dad. And now I am quickly becoming my dad, which is good and bad in many ways. But
I'm a direct copy of my father. I'm only listening to Sussudio by Phil Collins just on repeat. That's the only.
Your musical recollection though, like, do you even need to listen to music? You just sing it in your head.
I mean, it's a better experience when I listen to it because you know, as much as I enjoy singing music, I don't sound as good as the music itself. So I gotta turn it up just a little bit louder than I'm singing, you know, just so I can hear the actual singer.
That's fair.
I had somebody use the line, I said, or I was singing a song, and they said, oh, hey,
who sings this song?
Hey, yeah, who sings that song? And I said, oh, I don't know. It was a Christmas song. I was like, it's either Dean Martin or like Bing Crosby or something. And he's like, oh, okay, let's, you know, well, why don't you just let them do it, you know? And I was like, oh, you son of a bitch. I haven't heard that line.
You walked right into that one.
Strolled actually. I strolled into it. Yeah, man. I was all about it. And then, cause I was, something about me is I'm always ready to like show my musical prowess and like, oh, this song, you know, is from this album or whatever.
You got a talent like that. You got to use it.
But it was my downfall that day, you know?
It happens to the best of us.
It's either lyrics or, you know, whatever. I get a kick out of all the misheard lyrics because I never mishear the lyrics the same way that other people do.
There's some pretty funny ones out there. I don't remember any of them off the top of my head, but I have seen a couple of, I think, of YouTube videos or something that were most common misheard lyrics and what you think they are, and then what they actually are, and I was just like, what?
I'm trying to remember what I don't know. I could sit here and try to think about what the song is, but it is a funny one. Anyway, that's go look up misheard lyrics. That's those are always fun. Well, Johnny, you got any more talking points, good sir?
No, I think I'm pretty good, my friend.
All right. Hey, everybody, sorry about how somber we got there in the middle, but you know, it was as this podcast is, sometimes it just you know, it ends up where it ends up, you know? So I want to say, to sort of drive that point home, if anybody out there is thinking about doing something to themselves, hurting themselves, feel free to please call the suicide prevention hotline. I don't have that number directly in front of me. Or, you know, reach out to your friends, your family. I mean, there are people that care about you, so...
Yeah, absolutely. Don't suffer alone.
Don't suffer alone. But I guess at this point, we'll leave it off here. Johnny, let me get a good stretch in. before I have to do this outro.
Oh, looking good.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody. We are on SoundCloud. We're on Google Play Music. We're on Stitcher. We're on Player.fm. We're on iTunes. Head over to iTunes. Leave us a rating and review. That'd be much appreciated. We are on all social media at Jumbled Podcast. Look us up there if you want to send us any emails, maybe a little bit of an idea what we could do for Patreon stuff. Send it over to jumbledpodcast@gmail.com. Again, thanks to our sponsor, Audible. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled. Get your free 30-day trial and a free audiobook. And like I just mentioned, we are on Patreon. Go over to patreon.com/jumbled. Give whatever you like. Even if it's even if you don't want to give something on Patreon, we're open to constructive criticism. Send us some. Send us. Of course, that doesn't get a dick pic from Johnny. Constructive criticism doesn't get that dick pic. But.
I'm sorry, Mom.
But anyway, guys, I think that'll do it. Good to see you, Johnny.
You too, buddy.
All right. We'll see you guys next week for another episode of Jumbled, your favorite podcast.
About nothing.
Nothing. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.